So we're back with part 3 of our second LP series. Just like last time, we're Songhai for some reason. Here we'll just heal up our composite bowman. There's silver back here if we want to send a settler all the way over. In terms of places to expand to, I think I might drop a city here. 1, 2, 3. Ragus is actually blocking excuse me, blocking off all the nice mountain spots. And I don't really want to settle on the other side of the mountain range. So here I think I'm going to accept this deal just to appease Frododo. I think he really wants the silk. I get an extra 40 gold out of the deal. So 40 gold for him would be worth whatever We Love the King days that might trigger. And for me, it's just me being a little intimidated by what I've heard about Frododo being a good player, and hoping that this will make him think he doesn't need to come and kill me. But, I mean, I did build the Hang Gardens and the Great Library, and if I were him, I would probably try to come and kill me. But we'll see how this plays out. We're doing okay in terms of military might. We're right at the average, and China's the leader, but not by a ridiculous amount. So here, I think we're going to squeeze out another composite, and then afterwards we'll start on the Great Wall. Now, in terms of where to settle the city, if Frododo is attacking us, we are going to want to settle somewhere over here. 1, 2, 3. We can still settle right on the sheep there. And even though that's suboptimal in terms of wasting the sheep and not actually going for unique luxuries, at least it's on a mountain. And it'll provide us with some defensive abilities. That also means we might want to settle something over here, 1, 2, 3, perhaps on this hill. It would get us the sheep, the cattle, and we could 1, 2, 3. We'd eventually grab the spices. The spices are 4 tiles away from Nimenjin, so he won't be able to buy that tile. In terms of military might, we're still doing pretty poorly, and Frododo is accelerating his military. Getting his units through that choke is actually could be pretty difficult unless he gets a road up. Let's see with our warrior what he's doing over there. So I think I'm going to want a city here and a city here to act as a buffer against Frododo. And once I get a great wall, their cultural borders will also help protect my capital. So I do want to get those 2 cities up. A settler will cost me 3. I think I need that other composite. The question is whether I would want to work on the Great Library, the Great Wall right away, or spend 3 turns building a settler. It'll be sort of a defensive settler. The city will play more of a tactical value than anything else. And I'm not actually sure if that's a good idea. So I'm going to send this worker along with my settler to improve some tiles immediately. So even though I'm working all these hills and I have the hanging gardens, I'm still only third on manufactured goods. So I'm going to go for the Great Wall here. For that, I get a 30% production bonus. So I should be in fairly good shape for that. Civ has declared war on Colombo. I don't think I've met Colombo. We might want to get our iron online and then get our workshops. So we're feeling fairly good as far as the wonders we've built so far. So we don't need to get too aggressive in accelerating our tech. What we'll really want to do is make sure our production is okay so that we're able to build the appropriate military units to defend ourselves. Excuse me. I'll likely also want a road network, but for the moment I'll farm up some more tiles, even though we're not really using those. So that'll delay the Great Wall by a turn, but it'll let me grow in 2 turns, and that new citizen can work some more of our high production tiles. So right, in this case, I think what I'm going for is a super capital city, and then I'll just settle other cities, not to claim resources, but just as defensive buffers. That's not actually the best plan, but it's what I'm going to do in this situation, since I don't want to alarm KD, and Frodoto is already aggressively expanded towards us, so there's nothing we can really do in response to that. Up next is metal casings, and then I'll want machinery, because I'm pretty sure someone is going to come and try to take us out. Even though we're doing pretty poorly on all of these other metrics, I think since we have the Hanging Gardens and the Great Library, we're in okay shape for the long game. Here, I think we want also to go and maybe work on a road or something. I don't know if we need all these farms, it's just more pillageable tiles for when we do get attacked. But here I am making the farm. I think eventually we will want the option to grow rapidly to get our science online. Oh, I forgot to move my settler there. I was trying to be all sneaky and move him once I was done thinking about what I was doing, but instead I just totally forgot to move him at all. You're not allowed to use shift moves in No Quitters games, and so if I was playing a normal game, I would have set up my settler to move at the end of turn with a shift move. But as it is, what we'll do is, I think for our purposes, having 3 workers is enough. I'll just delete this guy now. That'll get me an extra 2 gold per turn. We will move our settler in range, although that tips our hat to Frodoto if he can see what's going on back here. In terms of manufactured goods, we really are falling behind. A lot of that has to do with the fact that we're only on 1 city right now. So after this Great Wall finishes, we're going to squeeze out another settler and place our purely defensive city. I mean, it will eventually grab these spices, so it's not a total waste. Then we'll see how things are in terms of how threatened we're feeling. We might go for the Oracle, or we might get some more units online and then take out Ragusa. They've got cotton, so that happiness will take care of itself. We'll just go and maybe buy some of these tiles, so that'll help us out in terms of having the Great Wall. I don't know if it's worth it though, in terms of how much that'll cost us. I think what you'll want to do is work on a wall, since we are playing purely defensive. Or no, having a extra composite is actually more valuable in this situation. I think we will get up our road network, so that means sending you back, and you can build a road right there. I'm hesitant to buy tiles, just because it is going to be a bit of a waste. You can fortify yourself. My warrior will fortify himself in that expansion city just to keep the combat strength up, to help discourage Frodoto from wanting to come this way. We're still doing poorly on manufactured goods. And that's even with our workers working all of these tiles here. These mines, that is. So we're not friends with Tyr anymore. In terms of military might, we're still doing okay, a little above average. Let's see who built the pyramids. Kif built the pyramids. Let's get a move on out of here. So, in terms of getting unique luxuries, later on we can start taking over some of these city-states once we feel safe in terms of holding off against Frodoto and others. How many cities does he have? So Frodoto has extreme production because he's spamming cities like mad. He must have a lot of space to the rear here. Hopefully some of that is in contact with Kif, so they can counterbalance each other. Because as it is, I'm playing a very timid and defensive game. So yeah, we can get a road up here. Just for defensive purposes, we'll want to have our units being able to mobilize. And we'll see next turn if we're able to get this Great Wall finished. So Frodoto's spamming cities like crazy. I don't think Persia or China are in the position to do anything about it. JD might, but he's also one to sit back and tech up where possible. So it's really all up to Kif to balance out Frodoto. Now, let's see how many cities Kif has. So he's also got a large number of cities. So here we're going to pump out our second settler, and we'll reset tiles to try to finish that in one turn. Nope, not so much. So here I'm hoping, so Civ is leading in terms of score over Dodo. We really need someone who can counterbalance Dodo here. That could be me if once I settle this city, if I switch up to start producing military units. I can take Nijmegen and then Rotterdam. That might actually be what I need to do. So here I'm just going to send my scouts south and explore the last of this fog area. Finish that bit of road. Finish that bit of road, and you can go and mine up this hill here. We have another worker. Well, guess we'll send you over there. So yeah, we have enough troops to defend ourselves. We have the Great Wall, so I'm less worried about that right now. What I am worried about is being so far behind on manufactured goods. So I think both Dodo and Civ are going for the strategy where they make a lot of cities, they set them to production focus, and then whenever they want, if each of those cities starts to build a military unit, they can have an army appear very quickly, and then that army can go and crush someone. I don't know who the target for that crushing will be. So Civ has good access to Katie via this back region here. I don't know how much contact Civ and Dodo have up here. Dodo can come towards me if he wants. He can go for Civ, or he can go this way and take out China and then Persia. So I want to make myself look as difficult to take over as possible, because I would be, given my proximity, his prime target. So, like I said before, we're going to settle a city here as a buffer between, defensive buffer between ourselves and Dodo. Now we have time to go for the Oracle. We're going to get ourselves over here and farm up that tile. Mine up this tile, head towards the fog, and otherwise we're more or less okay. So here everyone else is getting their free workers. We got a total of 4 workers free. We've already deleted 1 because we've improved enough tiles. This whole business of deleting units might be a little controversial. I like the extra trickle of gold and the flexibility that gold allows. So I might be a little hastier to delete units than some others might be. So here, while we're working on the Oracle, I might want to grow a little faster. That means working some of these high food tiles. So 4 turns Oracle, 4 turns growth. That's a nice compromise. Here we're right at the bottom of the world. So one thing that's kind of like a shift move, if you queue up a multi-step move, the computer will just do that move at the end of the turn. Here I'm starting to fall a little bit behind on soldiers again, and I'm also below average on manufactured goods. But in terms of the output of a single city, I think my capital has more production than anyone else. So that's good. But in terms of getting up an army quickly, they'll be able to do that a lot faster. So even though I'm not feeling very threatened, I still think it's important to get out this fourth composite here at Timbuktu, even though I would like to get up a culture building to claim more of these tiles. Frodo has declared war on Yerevan. So you can also work on a composite bowman. In terms of manufactured goods, we're still below average. On techs, we're also 2 techs behind behind the Swedes. Our capitals are the same size. He's got 1, 2, possibly 3, but unlikely, cities that are beside mountains. So there, Frodo was just stealing a worker. We're going to have metal casings, or metal casting, and we'll be able to build our workshops. That should accelerate our manufactured goods quite a bit. I think that's it for cities we want to settle. I mean, a 4th city would be good, we just don't have a good space for it. Possibly over here, now that we know that that's where the iron is. Maybe somewhere that's in range of these dyes. Although, should China or Persia ever decide to, they could come and take that city very easily. We're just going to farm up that tile. Pledge to protect Quebec City again. So even though we've built 3 wonders, we're not, in terms of score, that doesn't compare to massively spamming cities. Let's see how many cities Frodo is at now. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 non-capital cities, so that's 8 cities total. He must have been able to claim a lot of unique luxuries here. That's one really nice thing. In terms of military, Katie is the lowest. If I go to attack Katie, however, that might leave me open to attacks from others. So I am playing very conservatively. I'm sort of turtling up here. I don't know if I should be going for crossbowmen and then trying to attack, say, Frodo or Katie, or if I should try to get my further capitalize on this situation and try to get public schools online fairly soon. So here, oligarchy. This will make my cities a little easier to defend. I'll also bring home this composite to save on upkeep. It also gives me the free aqueducts, which means I'll grow a lot faster. I've discovered metal casting. I'll just go and keep improving these hills. In terms of luxury resources, I don't have any spares at the moment. I really would like it if Jin would expand in this direction and grab those spices. I might buy this tile here just to encourage that. That could also that also helps out in terms of my Great Wall acting as a buffer. The more territory I have in between myself and Frodoto, the slower his attacks will be. So now I'm hoping that it'll jump to prioritize the spice tile. I'm not sure when that border expansion updates. So there I just finished, what's my gold output here? 19. I'll go commerce rather than liberty. Just finished the Oracle, get a workshop online. So I'll soon have spare wines online, and I can trade with someone else for spare luxuries. But we'll just pause part 3 here.